Hi guys, welcome to another video tutorial by Drew from Pulse Multimedia. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a simple introduction to a movie or video made using Adobe After Effects. So what we've got here is basically, well, I'll just show you what it does. Okay, so first of all, in this frame that we see, we have blue solid, which has some feathering over it to give it this glowing effect. From there, it moves into text fading in. It's got an effect on that to give it a 3D block sort of effect. I'll zoom in and show you that. And I put a lens flare over it with some transition for movement. Finally, it actually changes to a separate layer of the text laid on top of each other, and on the second layer I've put a CC pixel poly effect, which basically makes it blow up like this. There's a glow there, and I'll show you how to integrate all of this so you get a nice smooth transition happening of text fading in, exploding, and then your video beginning. So let's begin. It is turned into a quite extensive project here, so I've got a lot of layers, but we'll be only working with these four. Firstly, your blue solid. You want to draw a new solid on the stage and give it a mask. We want to feather it out so it's about 458 pixels. I've put it at 96 opacity. You can tinker with these things as you wish to change some of it, give it a duller glow, or make it extremely bright, but I thought dropping it back just slightly made it look a bit better. That's all you needed to do for that one. We'll move on to the text. So the first block of text, this one here, is placed on top. Now it starts out by fading in, so you'll need to set the stopwatch for flare. The stopwatch for the text transformation for opacity here at 0 at the beginning of the playhead, just by clicking the stopwatch, and then 100%. I've made that about half a second in. You can again set it up however you like, but this is what I'm using. As the text is fading in, I've also begun the lens flare effect. Now, to get these effects happening, you need to have the effects and presets open. And if you know the name of the effect, in this case CC Pixel Poly, you can just start typing, it will come up. You drag and drop that onto the text. From there, I've again set the playhead up for brightness and the flare center, and I've initiated it at 0% brightness, so it fades in as well to 181%, so I've boosted it right up there. In combination with that, I've also changed the center of the flare, which gives it the movement that you see happening across the screen. So when it sort of glows in and out along there. To do that, you initiate the stopwatch at whatever frame you like. Here I've got it about a third of a second in, half a second in, and I've set another stopwatch point just after 2 seconds, and you can see I've changed the position here. So horizontally I'm moving it across the text there, so it gives it that shine across it, and you would have heard that the metal scraping on each other, like sword effect sound come into it. So that's how you do that. We take the CC Pixel Poly, drag it onto the text, and then just initiate the stopwatch again. Now, close those off. I should also mention I've given the text a ramp. So the ramp effect basically gives a transitional color. So I've got white to black. Gives it that nice fading grey. The next thing that we had to do was get a second layer of text. So you simply copy that first one without any of the effects and place it straight behind the next one. straight behind the initial text. So we take the playhead up to where the text, just there, just after 2 seconds, where the lens flare has stopped, and the sound effect's gone, and I have placed this second layer of text straight underneath it. So you can see here I've got the top layer still there, and underneath it the other block of text, the CC Pixel Poly one, glowing underneath it. So if I hide that first one, you can see the glow that I've put onto this second block of text. So it's got a fill of this very light blue colour and a glow. So I've set the glow threshold to 69%, radius to 9%, and the intensity to 1.9. So it gives it that nice thick inside glow feeling that you see there. Different to the mask of this blue colour, as that's feathered out pretty hard, but we've just left this one as a solid inside glow. What you needed to do next was have the two texts integrate with each other. So this first one gets deleted as the second one starts to explode. So it explodes there. The very next frame, the initial text is deleted, and you're left with the CC Pixel Poly text, this effect here, exploding outwards and fall in gradually. I should mention all these layers where there's any movement, I have put on a motion blur, so it gives it a bit more realistic feel to it, as if things are actually falling and you see their motion. So I'll go into the text that explodes and show you how that's done. I've covered the fill and the glow already, but if you needed any more advice on those, it's all in the effects and presets. So you just search in there and you can literally drag and drop anything you like, experiment with different effects, different thresholds for it, and yeah, just dive in. The other thing worth noting is that when the explosion finishes and the text is shattered away, I start to fade it out using the opacity stopwatch again. It fades out over just under a second, along with the blue solid, which we've masked earlier. That fades out as well. So, to get this explosion effect happening, we need to set up the pixel poly so that by default, it sort of just goes everywhere and there's no real control over it. We want to bring that control back and make it fall downwards as it also explodes outwards. So it's giving it the sense of a 3D space without it actually being in a 3D space. Force, 56. Without this restrained, it just goes everywhere. So if I bump that up to double, this will take a long time to render, but you can see just from that it sort of just goes everywhere and I don't have any control over it. So we've wanted to make that back to about 52, I think I had it, whatever it was on. Gravity, 0.52. This is also important because too little and it will just go everywhere again, too much and it will fall straight down. So I found that about 0.52 was right on the money. Spinning is how much each individual particle that you break up will spin. So I've got 2 full revolutions and 231 degrees. So again, they spin around slightly. It's not out of control, and it, again, just looked to me like a pretty good option. You can, of course, tinker with all of these and set it up however you like. Randomness, 68%, to give it some sort of an explosion. Like, not every particle is going to go at the same speed. And direction. Direction 90% spread, controlled by the gravity and the force, is falling pretty nicely within the stage. So the only other thing that I've added into there is the force center. So I've initiated at the very center of the text. So pretty much this center point just beside the K is where the explosion starts. Everything else fans out around it. I haven't changed the grid spacing and I've left that on. So shrink all that back down and play it through again. So it fades out, and then I have the full movie fade in. Now, the only other thing worth noting is sound, obviously. So I have a couple of sound effects just grabbed from Google. Playing through, I've just aligned those at exactly the point where I need it to be. So I have it here. The sound does that swords scraping on each other sound. And then when the text explodes, I've set it up so that you have a glass breaking sound, as if the text is actually made out of glass. So I'll play it again for you and show you the finished product. Now, it's a pretty simple animation to get happening in After Effects, but it's very effective. It works well with assignments that I did this in. The teacher really liked it, and it provides a nice introduction. There's some other ones that I'm going to be showing you later on where you can actually code into After Effects wiggle effects, different explosion parameters where you can control this CC pixel poly more. So you can actually coding of sorts into After Effects to tell this pixel poly how to behave instead of just setting it up via these parameters. Gives you much more control and much more ability to change things. I hope you've enjoyed this quick tutorial. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment below or send me an email. I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Head over to my website, www.pulsemultimedia.com.au. Please subscribe if you've liked it, and I'll try and get some more videos up shortly. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.